or any of the surnames in your tree. Oops, I almost dropped my phone. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about 14 things that you could do if you're in a 14-day lockdown. So currently with the coronavirus, a lot of people are having to spend more time inside. These 14-day lockdowns happening all over the world. So if you have to be inside for 14 days, what are you going to do? Of course you want to do some genealogy. So I thought that I would give you 14 suggestions for things that you might want to do in your lockdown. Before we get started, if you are new, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Okay, number 1, organize your genealogy paperwork. So this one is something that a lot of us put off. I myself am guilty of this one. But if you are going to be stuck inside for 14 days, well, you have no excuse not to go through all of your paperwork and sort it and file it and make sure that it is all where it should be. Mine in the past got to a point where I didn't even really know which things that I had, just because I couldn't easily put my finger on things. So if you've got boxes or folders or anything, make sure that you go through them, throw out anything that's not relevant, and file everything that is in a neat order so that you know where everything is. Number 2, scan in your photos. So you've probably got boxes of photos or albums around, but if you don't have them digitized, well, there's always the risk of getting them lost, and it's also harder to share them with other relatives. So scan them all in, and then you've got a digital copy and you can save that and maybe put it on a hard drive. It'll be preserved hopefully forever. And while you're scanning, you might want to also check out the MyHeritage colorize feature for any of your black and white photos, because that is so much fun and you could definitely spend 14 days playing around with that. Number 3, specialize. So what I mean by this is look into a particular location or a particular time period, or even maybe a particular surname, and really delve into that one particular thing and spend a lot of time on that. Because I think a lot of the time when we're doing genealogy, we jump from here to there and we learn a lot of stuff along the way, but we maybe become good at a lot of things and not really great at anything. So if you've got the time, you can really delve into one thing and get really good at that. Like learn all about your family surname or any of the surnames in your tree. Or yeah, pick a location, whether it's where you currently live or somewhere that your ancestors were from. Try and read up on the topic and get really specialized in that one area. Number 4, bash down a brick wall. Okay, we all want to do this, and I know it's not easy, otherwise they wouldn't be called brick walls. But with all this extra time on your hands, you'll have more time just to dedicate to that one. So go and have a look in your tree, pick one of your brick walls, go over all of your evidence, see where the gaps might be, and try and bash down that brick wall. You've got the time, you've got the energy, hopefully you've got the motivation. So dedicate yourself and see if you can get through that one. Number 5, revise all of your DNA matches. So this is something that when I very first did my DNA tests, I spent quite a lot of time going through my matches, but ever since then I haven't really spent too much time keeping up to date with new matches. So maybe go back over your DNA matches, if you've done a test obviously, and see if there are any new matches or anyone worth contacting. DNA matches can be really useful in helping you to expand your family tree or learn more about your family. So they shouldn't be underestimated. Another really helpful tool when you're looking at your DNA matches is DNA Painter. So some of you might already know about that. I'll dedicate a future video just to how to use DNA Painter, but it's an amazing website, and if you understand it and if you have the time, that's worth checking out too. Number 6, watch a webinar. So there are so many webinars and videos that are online that will help you with your genealogy. So you might want to look at the Society of Australian Genealogists if you're researching in Australia. I've done some of theirs and they're always really great. You might also want to have a look at the Roots Tech if you get a virtual pass, you'll be able to look at the past events that were on this year, just like a month ago. So that stuff will be really up to date. Or you could just check out some other family history societies, because some of them will advertise if they've got webinars on. So it's just like doing a seminar, but you can do it from the comfort of your home and from your lockdown space. So you can use that time to expand your skill set. Number 7, watch Kindred genealogy videos. Of course, I had to do a shameless plug in here. Of course. Hopefully you have already been watching your Kindred genealogy videos, but if not, go back and check out all of our old ones and make sure that you also subscribe to our channel while you're there. Number 8, do some voluntary transcribing. So there's a lot of projects that really need volunteers to help transcribe their historical materials, and they will definitely appreciate your volunteering and helping them out. There's plenty of projects, but you might want to have a look for yourself. I'm not sure if Family Search are probably still looking for people, but that's one possibility. I think Trove are currently looking for people, so I'll put the link below if I can find it. I volunteer for the Founders and Survivors project, which is a convict project based in Port Arthur in Australia. But yeah, you can do this from the comfort of your own home, and I know that all of those projects are really grateful for any volunteer help that they can get. Also, while you're doing it, you can kind of learn a little bit about the process of reading old handwriting, or maybe about the time period that you're researching or anything like that. So it goes both ways. You help them and it actually helps expand your skills too. Number 9, organize your digital files. So just like organizing your paperwork, it's also important to organize your digital files. So a lot of the time you might save something or take a screenshot of something, and then it just ends up somewhere in your downloads or somewhere in one of the drives in your computer, and you just lose it and never see it again. So make sure that you set up some good files and folders, and maybe even create a backup copy to an external hard drive or a USB stick or something like that, and make sure that all of your digital files are in order. Number 10, prune your family tree. So sometimes when we are always in the thick of doing our genealogy work, we forget to look back and find mistakes that we've made in the past. And a lot of the times these are things that we maybe did early on and we just haven't revisited. So sometimes it's a good idea just to really take your time and go back over all of the steps that you've done and make sure that everything is rock solid. And if anything's in there that's not rock solid, then either cut that branch out or look for some proof to keep it in there. Just having that extra time means that you can really invest it in making sure that your tree is really stable and strong and you've got everything correct. So this one's really just about revising. Number 11, get social. So whether or not you're a big social media user, go and have a look at some of the genealogy accounts that you can follow. So personally, I'm using Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, as well as YouTube, obviously. And there are so many people on all of those platforms that are always giving such helpful advice, and they'll share articles and tips and support each other. So it can be a really good way to build sort of an online community, especially if you mostly do your research alone and it's helpful to have other people to sort of bounce off. There are plenty of interesting accounts to follow, but if you're not sure, just try typing words like genealogy or family history into any of those platforms and see what comes up, and you might find that there are some that are really up your alley. And especially in these times when we're in lockdown, it'll allow you to feel a bit more connected with people, and you might even make some friends through it and be able to really interact with people who have the same hobby as you. Maybe a kind of silver lining in the lockdown. Also, while you're there, make sure that you follow Kindred Genealogy, of course. I'll put my social information here somewhere. Number 12, share your family tree with your relatives. So the first suggestion that I'll have for this one is using ClanView. So I've already done a video on how to use ClanView. I'll link it above. but it is a wonderful website for building a 3-dimensional family tree, and then you can just simply share a link to your relatives and they can click on the link and open up the tree without you know, without needing a login or a password or anything like that. So it's a really quick, easy way for you to share it with your relatives, and then they can send you feedback on the tree. So if they've got any stories or corrections or things to add, you know, they can collaborate. So while we're all in lockdown and we're not really in person so much with each other, we can share these things and get feedback just using the internet. And it's a really great way to build your tree by getting your family interested and involved. But if you don't have ClanView, or if you're not big on the internet, just give them a call and chat about the family tree a bit. Sometimes you jog people's memories just by mentioning people and mentioning what you already know. And this is a great time to just collaborate with people and possibly build up your tree while you're doing it. Number 13, binge watch Who Do You Think You Are and look for inspiration. So this is always a fun show for inspiration. I know a lot of people think that it's just sort of simplistic because, you know, it's like they learn their whole family history within like an hour. It makes it look a lot easier than what it is. But sometimes it's really good just for inspiration. Like they might talk about a place or a time period or something where your ancestors happen to be, and it can give you ideas for record repositories or things that you might want to check out. So sometimes it's just really good for inspiration, or if you just want a bit of a break in between your research and you still want genealogy even while you're on your break. And lastly, number 14, organize your photos into an album. That also is going to include labeling them and getting them in some kind of order. So you might want to do it chronologically or by little family groups or something like that, but try to get good quality photo albums with, you know, acid-free paper and all of that sort of jazz to protect your photos. But it's really good to have them into some nice organized albums so that they can be enjoyed rather than just kind of tossed into boxes. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I mean, some of you. But yeah, it's a perfect opportunity just to sit down and put those albums together and get everything labeled. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed these 14 tips, and hopefully it'll make your lockdown a little bit more enjoyable. Ugh, isn't that hard to say? Lockdown enjoyable? Anyway, but we all know that us genealogists kind of sometimes love to be inside with an excuse to research. So take that excuse and run with it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you are new. And I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!